A complete beginner's guide to 1500. It was only a year or two ago where I was a beginner and I was looking to hit 1500. So I remember very well what I did to achieve 1500, and this is almost a guide I would give my younger self if I wanted him to achieve 1500 as soon as possible. In this video, I'm going to split it up into two parts. The first part is looking at your games, analyzing them, and using the information you learn from your games to improve your chess. And the part number two is looking at openings, middle games, and end games, and how I learnt them. I'm going to be giving exact videos I watched to improve my openings, middle games, and end games. And I'm going to be speaking about the training methods I use to improve them. Also, I have a third part at the end, what's kind of the psychological pitfalls, the things I did good, the things I did bad, kind of a bonus thing. I recommend you get a notebook out for this guide so you can get the most out of it. Hope you enjoy. So, chess games. How many should you be playing a day? What time control should they be? And all that stuff. First of all, I got to 1500 just by playing 10-minute rapid games. In fact, I got all the way to 2000 rapid rating on chess.com just by playing 10-minute rapid games. Now, I do want to say I did play over the board, lots of over the board games as well, what definitely helped. And I did occasionally, maybe once a week, play a 15 plus 10 with a 10-second increment game on Lichess. So, the longer time controls you do play, I do think the more you will learn. The only reason why I didn't play many is because I just found them very boring, to be truly honest. So 10-minute rapid games I found exciting, and I still found that I could learn from them. Now, how many days should you be playing? I would recommend that you play a minimum of one rapid game a day. Now, if you're playing like a 15 plus 10-second increment game, probably just one a day, maybe one every 2 days. It really depends on how much time you have, how much you want to hit it, but one a day should be fine. With the 10-minute rapid games, I think one game to about 3 to 5. One game to 3, I would say, is where you're gonna learn. But after you play maybe more than 3 rapid games in a day, you're probably not gonna learn much from them because you probably have just an information overload. So I say 1 to 3 is the sweet spot. But you can also play as many as you want, really. I'm just saying that's how many you would learn from. Very important bonus tip, and this is really for you. This is really only for you if you really want to hit 1500 as soon as possible when you're actually really serious about your chess. This is maybe one of the biggest contributing factors to why I hit 1500 fairly fast, is I used to write down my own games and annotate them. So I have a chess journal. I don't use it too much anymore because it's actually full, but I'm planning on getting a new one. But I used it all the way up to I hit about 1800. I want to say, what I would do is after every single game, I would write it down and just use my own annotations. Now, these annotations don't have to be professional. They don't have to be even that good. I would literally just write why I played that move. I would literally write, oh, I played this move because I saw a similar move in a YouTube video. Very simple things like that. Just writing out my thought process. I used to write it down. I still have it now. So writing down your games and using annotations would definitely be kind of an accelerating method to hit 1500 as soon as possible. And now let's speak about more analyzing games. What should you be taking away from your games? What you should be learning? Now, personally, what I found what really helped was really just taking away one pattern from the game. So I'll look through the games, I'll look through my game, see where I went wrong. Now I would look at that, say maybe I blundered a piece on this move. I would look at the pattern, really try work on my pattern recognition, because everyone talks about pattern recognition when it comes to tactics, but what about pattern recognition when it comes to strategy? I would recommend probably taking 1 to 3 things away from every game, but I would really just minimum aim for just one thing. I really think just taking away one thing, one kind of remembering one pattern you did wrong, kind of where you blundered a piece, stuff like that. So that's what I would recommend for that. Also, this is maybe a bit controversial and lots of people won't agree with me, but I actually did use the engine quite a lot. I mean, the chess engine's there for you to learn. Lots of people say bad things. They say, oh, only analyze games by yourself. But to be honest, I used the chess.com reviews, the game reviews. I used all of it, to be honest, and it really helped me. One thing that you can do is where you stuff up, look what the engine would say. What does the engine suggest? Because not all the times it's useful, but sometimes it actually is quite useful. Where you wait and then try understand it. Try to see, oh, okay, and maybe look past just more than one move. Especially if it's like a plus 2, maybe if it's like a plus 0.7 and what you played was maybe like a minus 0.33, then it doesn't matter. But if it's like a big plus where you kind of stuffed up, definitely use it. Really understanding, maybe take a sample of your games, maybe take your last 5 games, or how many games it takes, but keep on working out, where do you keep going wrong? Do you keep going wrong in the openings? Do you keep going wrong in the middle games? Is it the end games? Because where you keep going wrong will really help you with the next part. Because even for me, I'll give you an example of me. I keep going wrong in the opening. You see me, you can literally see it online, me taking forever in the opening. So recently I've been working on my openings a lot more, because my openings are my weak point. In the games, I keep stuffing up there. So really just kind of work out, where do you keep going wrong? Is it openings, middle games, end games? And then put extra attention. Now in part 2, I'm going to be speaking about how to train those specific areas. But kind of a summary for part 1 is, I would suggest writing down your games, analyzing them just with your own thought process, and finding at least 1 to 3 things you did wrong. And really kind of try understand what you did wrong. Also, I try memorize, whatever you have to do to ingrain that pattern where you stuffed up in your head. Try do that. I think that would definitely help. So I would say maybe play 1 to 3 rapid games a day. Or, I mean, it really depends on your time control. If you're playing long games, maybe just 1 a day will do. But you don't want to play too many games, because you just have an information overload. So, openings. I would say, I'll just keep it simple. For white, pick 1, just either E4 or D4. Really, that's what I would say. That's my personal opinion. Maybe you can play another move, but I would just pick E4 or D4, maybe C4. Once you have that, whatever it's D4 or E4, so let's say E4, I'm going to use my only experience. For E4, I would always try and aim for the Italian game. You should always try aim for one thing that you're kind of most comfortable in. That's the Scotch, the Italian game, the Ruy Lopez, whatever it is. Now, with the Italian game, I'll look at the kind of possible ways my opponent could stop me before I get to that move where I play the Italian game, the kind of a signature move. I'm pretty sure it's Bishop C4. My opponent can play lots of different openings and stop me from playing the Italian game. For example, I'll need to know with E4 what to do against the Sicilian. I'll just kind of pick one thing for the Sicilian, one thing for the French, one thing really for the Philidor. I mean, obviously there's kind of individual lines, but kind of just aim for one thing, and maybe if your opponent branches out, you can kind of learn a couple side lines. But really, I'll just keep it simple. Say, for example, let's say the Caro Calm. Say you've got the white pieces. Maybe just learn, for example, one thing you could do is maybe you could play the Panov attack. Because if you play the main line, your opponent can play your opponent can play the classical, can play the Karpov. So maybe just keep it simple. Maybe for the French, maybe you even want to play the King's Indian attack. Maybe you want to play the main line, but you have to learn more things. So I think just kind of keep it simple. Try have it so you have to learn as less as possible for each kind of individual openings that interfere with you trying to play your main thing. For me, it's a Ruy Lopez now. I'm just trying to get to Ruy Lopez position. My opponent plays Sicilian. I always play the same thing. I play the Keres. I don't play the main line. But that's just my personal advice. I mean, obviously, now, if I wanted to get better, say I wanted to get 2100, I would definitely need to learn. I would definitely need to improve my openings. But we're speaking about 1500, and I'm telling you, you don't need to know a million different lines for every opening. Now you get to that opening, but I say it's the Italian. I'll use it for me because when I was 1500, I was still playing the Italian. Learn the traps. You can learn this on YouTube. Use YouTube. YouTube can be your great friend for learning. It's where you learn stuff in the modern day, really. YouTube. Learn the traps. Learn the lines. Also, learn from your own games. You can learn a lot about the opening just from experience. That's what I would say. Keep it simple. There's great YouTube videos. For the Italian Pacific, I'll actually link some videos you can use to learn it. And I'll just say one off the top of my head that's really good is Hanging Pawns. He makes great videos on openings. Whatever opening you play, I'm sure he'll have a video. Also, I'll just suggest, let's say you want to play the Scotch. I would suggest just learning the basic traps. Kind of the basic, kind of different variations. Now, I'm going to speak about a trap, a big pitfall you should not fall in. I fell into this and it just caused me, it was not very nice. It just really stagnated my chest. If you have to keep memorizing moves and you don't understand them, just stop. You don't have to know all the theory. I mean, I got to my rating, 2000 rapid rating, without knowing much theory at all. I'll tell you that. I really don't know a lot of theory. I know the basic, just learning the basics to get you to the middle game. That's really all you need. I also think another kind of, maybe it's more advanced, is kind of learn the middle game. Learn the middle game plans. That really helps. So learn it to you where you get to kind of a start of the middle game, and then start learning the middle game plans. That will really help you, and that's my own advice. And also if you're the black pieces, learn a response for E4 and D4 and just stick to it. For example, for the E4 I always play the Karo-Khan. For D4 I try to play the Semi-Slav. And also for C4, I can still play my Karo-Khan. And to be honest, maybe this might seem a bit controversial, but I wouldn't really bother learning all the kind of individual lines for the modern defense or the birds. Maybe just learn like a very simple setup. But to be honest, I don't think it should matter too much, but that's my own advice. Now, middle games. Now, middle games is really, really where if you get good at them, you will definitely win your games. Like, this is really where you can separate yourself from not a 1500 to actually hitting that 1500. So, with middle games, first of all, I want to say a massive shout out to John Bartholomew's videos. I'll leave some videos John made, and they're actually really great. I'll actually leave them. I definitely recommend watching them. So I watched those videos. They really helped me because he really just went over his thought process, what he looks for in a game, in the middle game, what he's looking for, what he's looking at, what he's not considering, and all of that stuff. So a big shout out to that. With tactics, now I actually think the further away you are from 1500, the more tactics matter. So let's say you're like 900. Tactics are definitely going to be a massive part. Now, I would suggest you can learn them on Elite Chess, chess.com. I actually suggest learning like maybe 3 to 5 a day, and really memorizing them, really understanding them, really being able to kind of solve them with your eyes closed, just visualizing them. So get your tactics good. But I do want to say, the lower rated you are, the more tactics will matter. Now, if you're closer to 1500, now say you're like 1300, 1400, maybe 1200, tactics won't be as vital compared to the lower rated you are. So the correlation is, the lower rated you are, the more tactics will be a vital point in you hitting 1500. You just need to be good at tactics. But you don't need to be a tactical wizard to hit 1500. Just have them good. I think definitely go over them every single day. I would definitely make them part of your daily routine. Play games, solve tactics. Maybe solve like 5 tactics before you play a game. Definitely will help. But definitely, I think with tactics, learn them. You can learn them just on websites, I think. Elite Chess is good. Chess.com's good. That's really what I've learned them from. And also with Elite Chess, I haven't made a video on this actually before, but Elite Chess have like these puzzles things. I'll show you. I'll show you now. So it's like kind of these puzzles things that you can do, and you can go through all of them. And definitely, once you do that, you'll definitely be a lot better at tactics. But just practice them daily. But with tactics, it's fairly easy to improve. You just do puzzles, and yeah, you will get good at them. Notice I haven't really spoke about tactics too much, because I think just do them every single day. The lower rated you are, the more you got to do them. I think the higher rated you are, the more you got to focus on the other things, and that's my advice. I bought the Diamond membership as well, and if you really want to get better at chess, I do recommend buying the Diamond membership, because it really helped me, especially if you're like maybe 1000 rated. It will definitely really help you. With the Diamond membership, the lessons were really great, because there was interactive lessons when you get to a middle game position, and it wouldn't be a straight tactic. You would have to find the best move, and it would tell you why it's a good move, why it's not. So those lessons were really great. So I think if you don't even have the chess.com membership, maybe you can do like once every week, but I definitely recommend doing those. And now a book. I mean, if you don't want to spend lots of money on the membership, if you want to spend kind of minimal money, I would say what you'd get definitely the most value for your buck would definitely be the Soviet Chess Primer. This is a Soviet Chess Primer, and honestly, this is a great book. At the top, I'm not really sure you can see it. Honestly, Karpov and Garry Kasparov wrote a kind of a thanks on the book. They kind of wrote I think, memoir maybe. I'm not sure, whatever it's called, but they wrote something. They said how great it was, really. All they had to say was just positive things about how it was a great book. Soviet Chess Primer was great for middle games. I mean, it's great for everything in chess, but for middle games, that's where it really helped me with my kind of knowledge gap, because when I was around 1500, a bit lower, my middle games were horrible, and I was always looking for middle positional understanding. That's all I was interested in, positional understanding, and I'm still definitely learning, but it definitely helped me a lot. So the Soviet Chess Primer is a great book. Now, let's say you don't really want to spend any money, you just want me to kind of tell you where to learn, how to get better. I would say really try to understand pawn structures. Now, if you're going to go away with this video and improve your middle games, watch YouTube videos on pawn structures, understand pawn structures, analyze your games, look at the pawn structures, really understand pawn structures. They're a very vital part of the middle game. The second part is minor pieces. Really understand minor pieces, understand the minor pieces' relative value. Obviously, it's worth 3 and a 3, but understand what positions is one knight worth more than another knight. So in a closed position, a knight is worth more. But in an opening position, a bishop is worth more. Understand that. There's great YouTube videos on it. I want to say actually, Gotham Chess has. I think Gotham Chess has quite good videos on middle games. I know John Bartholomew does. Or Hanging Pawns. Hanging Pawns is great. He really speaks about pawn structures, minor pieces, and all of that. So if that's 2 things, obviously there's more, but those 2 things, really understand those, nail those, get better at understanding them. That will really improve your chess, definitely your middle games. Also, this is one other thing, and this is one thing I was doing yesterday. I was, for example, yesterday I was trying to learn an opening, and so instead of just watching the YouTube video, and I do this for other YouTube videos if it's chess or not. I mean, if I'm trying to learn something, have a little book by your side. Writing it down on paper, there's just something about it. I mean, you can, there's something scientifically, it's scientifically proven that writing stuff down on paper or reading from a book instead of like an ebook is beneficial. So write down what you're learning on YouTube videos, write it down. For example, lots of YouTube videos I watch, when I don't write it down, it just goes over my head. I can remember what I was learning yesterday just because I wrote it down. So when you're learning, like I'm saying, about pawn structures or minor pieces, have a little book by your side. It will really help. I know it's not fun, but it will pay off, I promise you. Summarize it, I would say watch the YouTube videos. I'll put some good links to some in the description. Also, the chess.com ones were great. The Soviet Chess Problem, if you're going to buy any book, I would definitely recommend that one. And also learn about minor pieces, pawn structures. Those are 2 things that will just really help you. And what I was saying about YouTube videos, have a notebook. You can learn from YouTube, learn about those things. Endgames. I think with endgames, now I know kind of the main thing you will hear is learn endgames, learn endgames. You ask someone, ask a master, how do I get better at chess? Endgames or tactics. With endgames, I mean, I'm definitely not a master of endgames. My endgame knowledge, I think, is kind of enough for me to not completely get blown off the board by someone of my level. Now, if I'm playing someone higher rated, what I rarely am, they're obviously going to be better at endgames than me. But obviously, you're playing people around your rating with endgames. I definitely think learn king and pawn endgames. Learn king and pawn endgames. I'll put some YouTube videos for that for you to learn. I say a great video I watched. I'll leave a link in the description for you. It was a lesson on chess.com. I think you can get 1 free lesson a week. But it was from Anna Rudolph. She made this great endgame series. What was about it was about endgames, about king and pawns. But it was a bit more complicated than the kind of standard king as pawn, how to win with the kind of opposition. So kind of learn about opposition, triangulation, and all of that stuff. Kind of learn that basic stuff. Get your endgames like solid. So you kind of want to know the theoretical, learn a couple theoretical endgames. But you don't have to go over the board. Just kind of learn the basic principles. That's what I would say for endgames. But to be honest, I haven't learned too many stuff about endgames, so I can't really speak about it from that too much. I would say put emphasis on the middle games if you want to hit 1500. Make sure endgames are decent for your rating anyway. The way actually to learn endgames was this Elite Chess. I'll leave a link to it. Elite Chess have some really great endgame stuff that you can learn from, and it's almost like playing an engine, but it's theoretical anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But you learn these theoretical little wins, they'll definitely help you. So Elite Chess has some great ones. So to summarize it, learn the king and pawn ones. Great video by Anna Rudolph, a great series on chess.com. Kind of learn the principles. Rook behind pawn, stuff like that. Kind of learn the basic theoretical ones. Don't go overboard. Now the final thing was kind of tips, do's and don'ts. Well, I actually think some of the things I'm going to say, I actually think if I could tell my past self this, and this is helping me with my future self, not making the same mistakes. One big mistake I made with chess was almost looking at it as a school subject. I looked at it too seriously. I looked at it like I would when I had to like revise for maths. it's stuff like that. It's like don't make it too boring. It's a fun game. So my best chess memories is me having fun, not learning it. Honestly, just playing, like, even playing, if I play like 20 rapid games in a row, I'm losing some, just on a elite chess tournament. That's some of my best chess memories. Like, really, don't overlearn. Like, it's a game to enjoy, not a game to like fully study. I mean, obviously, if you want to get better, you need to study, but make sure you're enjoying it. If you're not enjoying it, I've had times when I woke up in the morning, first thing I do. First thing I do is whip out a chess book, and I'm learning, and I'm just thinking, what am I doing? I don't even enjoy this. Like, I don't like forcing myself to learn. I mean, I get to a stage sometimes where I'm not even enjoying chess. I'm just studying it, almost like I'm studying a subject. Don't make that mistake. With blitz games, I mean, I wouldn't say binge blitz, but maybe play a blitz game every now and then. I mean, they're good fun anyway. It's all about enjoying chess. But don't bore yourself to death with the game. It's actually quite a fun game. And also, another thing, you can learn lots from streamers. I spend lots of time on Twitch, on YouTube. Say if say Hikaru's playing a game, listen to what he says. Ones I like is yeah, Hikaru's great. Daniel Naroditsky's great. Daniel Naroditsky also got great YouTube videos. Listen to what they say when they're playing live games. Listen, all that stuff. So anyway, that's kind of to summarize the tips, do's and don'ts. Don't make the game a school subject that you just feel you have to learn. Like, that's the biggest mistake I've made from chess, 100%. So hopefully you can learn that from me. And also, so overall, hopefully you've enjoyed this guide. Hopefully you got value out of it. If you did, please leave a like, because it has taken me quite a long time to make. I put lots of effort into this video, tried to make it not kind of a normal one. But hopefully this guide can really help you, and maybe you might have to revisit this video a couple times. But I promise you, if you do what the things I've said, you will hit 1500 a lot faster. I promise you. Anyway, good luck. If you are on the road to 1500, let me know. And when you hit it, let me know. Send me the game you have to win to hit it. Hopefully this guide was of value to you, and I hope to see you in the next video.